It's very rare that I get to report on something that I'm really excited about. And wow, today is one of those days. So Blizzard just keeps taking wins, and honestly, it's really refreshing. So if you haven't heard by now, Chris Metzen is returning to Blizzard after a 6-year hiatus. So we're going to break down what that means for World of Warcraft going forward. But before we get into this news story, I would just like to ask you guys to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. So, Metzen retired from Blizzard 6 years ago after working for the company for nearly 23 years. When he left, he was the Senior Vice President of Story and Franchise Development. So, as mentioned, he left because of his family and mental health issues, and a little while after he quit the company, he appeared on the podcast The Instance, where he shed some light on his departure from the company. And while he didn't outright say why he left, it's heavily implied that Metzen was overworked and extremely stressed, and his mental health was just in a very bad place. So he needed to step away and focus on himself and his family, which is totally a perfect reason, and I don't blame him one bit for his decision. But I do remember when he did announce his departure, I was incredibly sad because Metzen was the heart and soul of Blizzard. For anyone who doesn't know who Chris Metzen is, he started out at the company as an artist and quickly became one of the most important people at the company. He was basically the guy who made all the creative decisions for the story of World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo. He was essentially the father of Blizzard, and actually in the early stages of the WoW development, when they didn't even have a map of the world, Chris just literally walked up to the dry erase board and just started drawing out how the world of Azeroth was going to look. So what I'm trying to portray here is that Metzen is a huge pillar of Blizzard, and it's why him coming back is so massive. So what is he doing now at Blizzard? What is his role? Well, according to the announcement, he's going to be joining the World of Warcraft team and starting out as a creative advisor. The plan right now is for him to focus on World of Warcraft, but eventually he's going to be expanding out to other projects. And I know a lot of people think when they hear advisory role, it's just kind of like a phone-in kind of job, but I don't think Blizzard would hire him back just to not fully utilize Metzen. I think what's going on here is that they're going to start him off easy, give him some time to slowly acclimate back into the company. I know not doing anything for 6 years and then just dropping him back off is probably going to be a little overwhelming for anybody, so I think it's smart for them to, give him a shot to kind of focus on one thing, and then when he's ready, he can kind of move on to other stuff. Either way, I think this is such an awesome story, and I'm really happy to see Metzen back at Blizzard. Lately, the company has been bleeding a lot of experienced, older employees that have been there from basically the beginning days of Blizzard, and before Metzen came back, I think there's only a few, or just a handful of them left. I also had the opportunity to meet Metzen back at BlizzCon. Now, I don't remember which one it was, because I've actually been to quite a few. I think it was somewhere between the year 2010 and 2014. Either way, I noticed him hanging out by himself, and I approached him and just asked to take a picture with him. I remember just being really kind of starstruck and super nervous, but he was really friendly and easy to talk to, and honestly, I'm so glad he's back. Because with BFA and Shadowlands, the story just kind of really took a weird angle, and Chris, he understands World of Warcraft. He understands the story. He understands these characters. I mean, he's the voice of Thrall, and I just think with him back kind of helping out, I think they're going to be able to steer the story in a good place again. So the World First race is going on for Dragonflight in Season 1 with the Vault of the Incarnates raid. At the moment of recording this, it's looking like Liquid is currently 5 of 8 at Mythic, with BDGG, Instant Dollars, and Echo all tied for 3 of 8. So far, it's been a pretty interesting race, and I just hope we don't see a repeat of Sepultura the first ones, where Liquid was pushed way ahead of everybody. They got to the Jailer, and then they just kind of hit a wall, and Echo just kind of creeped up behind them and eventually took the win. So I'm really rooting for Liquid this time, and I hope they take the win. So this next story is actually a really huge win for role players or just transmog collectors in general. Blizzard is making white and gray items officially transmoggable in patch 10.0.5. This is kind of huge because now this opens up a ton of new items to collect for transmog. I think this is such an awesome change, and honestly I think this should have been put in the game ages ago, but at least we're getting it now, so that's good. No longer do you have to be forced to make your character look like some epic hero. Now you guys can, throw some rags on your character and make him look like an NPC. And I know this is kind of a side note, but I've actually really wanted Blizzard to add some kind of casual clothing option or toggle, so when you're in big cities or just in a town area, your character changes their outfit to something more simple. The one example I'm thinking in my head is Mass Effect 3, where you can have a choice of wearing casual outfits while you're on your ship, and then when you're actually out in missions, you're wearing your armor. But yeah, getting back to the story. So I would say the best advice I can give you guys right now is to start collecting that, gray and white gear. Maybe look up some really cool or unique looking outfits, and just start hoarding everything, because yeah, once this patch goes out, it's going to be an awesome way to make money. Another really cool change is Blizzard's finally adding the option for weapon illusions on artifact weapons. So now you guys can deck out your artifact transmog weapons with some really cool weapon illusions and play off some really cool effects. So another thing I wanted to talk about is some of the data mined items that are showing up, which are most likely going to be keyed into the trading post. The one that got me super excited is the Night Elf Warden themed armors that people found. I mean, just look at these look amazing. And I think this is actually the first time that Blizzard's going to be putting armor in the game that has kind of like this new cloth tech to them. This kind of armor has kind of always been reserved for NPCs because, you know, with character animations, sometimes really unique armor like this can make things look weird, and there's also just a lot of clipping issues, you know, your feet flying through the actual skirt part of it when you're running, or just things like that. But yeah, if Blizzard's putting this into the game for players to be wearing, it sounds like they've got the tech nailed down, so there's probably not going to be a lot of clipping issues. Now hopefully we get to see some really cool overcoats like those NPCs wear in Borealis, because I think those looked awesome. And come to think about it, yeah, looking back, all those NPCs in Borealis had really awesome armor and just really cool looking clothing, and I think most of that gear is all gray or white items, so hopefully we get to see those in the trading post at some point. Alright, so I think that should do it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Chris Metzen coming back, or tell me about your next transmog idea with these gray or white items, because I really do like to hear from you guys in the comments, and you know, you guys really motivate me to keep pushing and make more videos. So thank you for that, and thanks so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.